Hi and welcome to the Wargame Shed video review. This is an occasional series and frankly a bit of an experiment with the technology. I'm intending to have a look at things which are more difficult to review without the addition of video on my blog. Today we'll be looking at some Brigade Games miniatures from their 28mm Ends of the Earth line. This is something that really fits in more with Indiana Jones than anything else, but is also useful for historical games. First, the U-boat crew. This is a 5-figure pack, and here it is in glorious Technicolor. Not unfortunately painted by myself, but rather by a friend of mine whose painting skills are somewhat greater than my own. First there's a captain figure, in his jaunty hand-on-the-hip pose, armed with a pistol, and some distinctive headgear. Then one of the crew, with a woolen hat and a rifle. And this one, who appears to be armed with a Bergman MP18, though don't quote me on that as I'm not an expert on the subject of guns. Another crewman in a different pose, also with a woolen hat and rifle. And finally, another armed with a rifle, but this time in a hood. All well sculpted and very useful. Now the German mountain troops, or Gebirgsjäger. Here are the greens, and now painted. Obviously they're not my painting again, but they are lovely figures both in terms of sculpts and how they turn out in the painted article. The officer NCO figure is armed with a submachine gun, probably an MP38, but again I can't claim to be an expert. Another with a light machine gun, again MG34 I would suspect. Another with a rifle, but this time with the goggles on. And finally another with an MP38. Beautiful sculpts, come up really lovely in terms of painting. That's it for this episode, but if you'd like more information or would like to read my thoughts on wargaming, board gaming, etc., then please visit thewargameshed.blogspot.com.